Hi, you guys. I'm Tashina.
Pop Tart Candy. I'm Portia.
And this is the Dark Side of Human. So today we're going to be talking about the high five murders. Um, it's just a sad, crazy case.
Not bothering me.
All right, so let's just jump into the story. So in April 1974, in Ogden, Utah, two men entered the High Five store. It's a radio store, like a Radio Shack, kind of, right? Had radio equipment.
Yeah, it has a lot of like
like a Radio Shack. But so there was two employees. There was 20-year-old Stanley Walker and 19-year-old, I forgot her name, Sherry Ansling. Ansling, Ansley, Ansling. She was only 19, and she only started working there.
This was her first week.
And technically, she was actually working for somebody that day.
Yeah.
And she just got engaged.
Was a trainee.
Yeah, so she just got engaged and everything. So they're just chilling, waiting because the store's about to close.
In 5 minutes.
Yeah, the two men entered the store with guns and makes them go down to the basement, ties them up, and they go back upstairs to start getting the radio equipment and stuff they were going to steal. And here comes a 16-year-old boy. His name was Courtney Nesbitt. He was coming to go thank Stanley because
they were supposed to hang out.
Yeah, but he was taking him because he lets him park the car in the employee parking lot so he can run his errands and all that stuff. So he just went in there to say hi, to thank him, whatever. As soon as he walks in, he was met with a gun. He was took downstairs, tied up, and a couple of 15 minutes maybe. Stanley's dad was like, he's supposed to be home by now. Let me go to the store and see what is going on. He enters the store. He gets taken down by gunpoint. At this point, who's gonna lock the door? Would you lock the door? So he gets taken down.
I can't wait to tell y'all my thoughts on this whole
by gunpoint.
This whole, what is it? Debacle. What is it? Debacle.
So he gets taken downstairs, tight, but he doesn't get taken. He just gets taken downstairs. At this point, it's just not going as planned. So one of the guys tell the other guy, like, go in the van and go get the bottle. So the guy goes upstairs, brings back a brown paper bag.
No, when the mama come?
Right after this. And he brings a brown paper bag and goes downstairs. And this is when Courtney, the 16-year-old boy, his mama is worried because they all supposed to eat dinner together. They don't want to eat dinner until everybody is there. So she was like, he's supposed to run errands. I'm kind of irritated. He should be home by now. So she goes to the store, walks in, gets met by gunpoint.
She get taken downstairs.
They're brought downstairs, tied up. So at this point, Stanley's dad, Orrin, is the only one that's not tied up. So one of the men poured the liquid into the cup, this blue liquid into the cup, and was trying to have him distribute it to the other people. And he was like, no, I'm not doing that. So they tie him up and they throw him, right next to the son. So they sit everybody up in sitting position and start giving them this drink. Now they tell them it's only vodka and some kind of German sleeping pills, and it's gonna make them go to sleep. And when they wake up, they'll be gone and they won't remember anything. So they're distributing and they're giving them to drink it, but this is Drano that they're giving these people. Soon as it hits their mouth, blisters start to form. The flesh around their mouth is literally just peeling off. They are going up, it's burning down. So they're giving it to everybody. The only one that doesn't get it is Shelly. They don't give it to her. He gets the orange to her, and he's the last one. He's like, damn, I seen all these people drinking this stuff. So he takes it, but then he lets it drip out of his mouth. And then he starts, acting like he's convulsing and stuff like that. Now, it is burning the side of his mouth, but it's not burning his throat or his stomach, but it did burn.
He's giving them a show to make them.
Yeah, because he's the last one, and he's seen all of them. So the two men are standing there like, this is not how it's supposed to go. Like, they're annoyed, they're screaming, they're loud, it's messy. So they get duct tape, and they start trying to put duct tape on their mouth so it can quiet them, down. The duct tape will not stick because the blisters is pussing. They have no skin for it to stick on, so that's no go. So the other guy, one of the guys, are kind of like, this is not what I signed up for. Like, this is not. I thought we were just gonna rob the place, and this is not what I signed up for. He said, I'm about to go upstairs, and the other guy was like, well, just give me 30 minutes. That's all I need is 30 minutes. So he takes Shelly. Am I saying her name right? Sherry. He takes Sherry into the corner, makes her take off her clothes, gunpoint, and rapes her. Then after he's done raping her, he makes her go back where everybody is still naked, and he shoots Stanley in the back of the head. He shoots her in the back of the head. He shoots Carol in the back of the head. He shoots at Oren. Oh, wait, he shoots Courtney.
Yeah.
And then he shoots at Oren but misses.
But he didn't know he missed.
Well, no, he shot again, and he grabbed him in the back of the head, but he grazed him in the back of the head. So Oren's just laying there, like,
still playing dead.
you know, trying to say he's dead. So at this point, the man was about to leave, and he noticed that Oren wasn't dead.
This man's name is.
Well, we're gonna tell it.
Oh, we can't say the name yet.
I'm gonna say it after.
Okay.
So he jumps on top of him, and he starts with a wire, and he starts strangling him. And for some reason, he can't kill him. I don't know why he can't kill him, but he can't kill him.
This man had the will.
He really did. So then he finds a ballpoint pen on the ground, and he sticks it in Oren's ear and steps on it, and it goes through his eardrum and out his throat. So at this point, he thinks he's dead. So he's like, all right, I'm out. So they go.
Guess what? Oren wasn't dead.
They finish taking all of the equipment, and they leave. So it takes them about 4 hours to be found. And this is when Stanley's mom and Oren's wife is like, where are they at? And I'm like, 4 hours? No, you ain't. Like 4 hours.
But Oren tried to go make it to call 911.
Yeah, so 4 hours, she goes with her and her other son. The other son kicks their door down, the back door. She's on there with 911. When they get there, Stanley and Sherry is already dead. Carol makes it to the ambulance, but she dies on the way to the hospital. Now, Courtney is alive. I mean, he got shot in his head. He's alive. And Oren, he's alive as well. And Oren is able to talk. He gives them a description of the two men that were in there. So
Oren is a G. But Oren was dumb because he walked past the car to see all the equipment.
Oh, yeah, he seen all the equipment. He just thought they were delivering
like, delivering all this stuff. Let me just go in.
So he's alive. So he gives a description. So a few hours once the story breaks, somebody from the Hill Air Force Base that's in Ogden, they call and they're like, there was a guy that I'm stationed with. His name is Williams. He told me a few months ago that he was going to rob the High Five store, and then he was going to kill anybody that got in their way. So the cops were like, okay. So then maybe an hour after that, 2 kids were at the Hill Air Force Base digging through the trash cans, trying to look for cans or a tin so they can cash in for money. And they find wallets, purses. They look in there, still has the IDs in there. They recognize it to be the victims.
And it was next door to this
Air Force Base.
The room. What was it? His room number was like 161 or something.
Yeah. So, cops are called. They come now. All the other Air Force men are around the trash can. They're kind of quiet. They're like wondering what's going on. 2 men are standing on the side. They're kind of arguing with each other. They look nervous. All right. So it's Del Pierre and Andrew Williams are the 2 men, and they kind of fit the description of.
But Pierre already was like a person of interest on another murder.
Yeah,
that happened on the Air Force Base. So when the cop seen like, oh, this is by his house, his wheels start turning like, hey, I already thought he killed this one person, but we couldn't prove it. So I'm about to really get his ass now.
So when Pierre first got there on the Air Force Base, he went to this guy's house, Sergeant Edwards. He was there and he was listening to music. Sergeant Edwards lost his key. So Pierre's like, oh, let me help you find your key. They're looking around, they can't find a key. So the next day, Pierre comes back and was like, oh, let's look for your key again. And miraculously, the key appears. So Sergeant Edwards was kind of suspicious because this is what Pierre did. He would go to the car lots and he would test drive, go and make a copy of the keys, and come back later on and steal the car. So that's what Sergeant Edwards thinks he's doing.
Like, you're trying to do this to me. You're not about to steal my car.
Yeah, so he changed his locks to his door and he changed the ignition to his car. But he was asleep. somebody enters the house.
But they had an altercation, and Pierre.
Yeah, because he confronted
he
him.
wanted everybody to be scared of him, but Sergeant Edwards was like, "Man, I'm not scared of you," and he like got at him in front of all his little crew. Pierre didn't like that shit though. He didn't like that shit at all.
No, he got checked. He didn't like it. He was found with a bayonet. I think it's the knife that attached to the gun through his eye, like that in his sleep.
But multiple other stab wounds too, and he was like beat up. But they got him in his sleep, like they did it. He was asleep on the couch, and he stabbed him in the eye, and
yeah, through the eye. But there wasn't enough evidence to
no witnesses
to say it was him or whatever. But he knows in his heart that was him. So when he seen it was Pierre, he's like, okay. So let's talk about the good luck.
Let's get his ass.
So Del Pierre, he was 20 years old. He was born on the islands of Tobago in 1952, and he grew up on the islands of Trinidad. Now he was always like everything had to go his way, and he was just full of rage. Everything, if he didn't get his way, he would bully people. He just wanted everything to go his way. In 1970, they left Trinidad and they migrated to the United States. They lived in Brooklyn.
And he did not like that.
No, he didn't.
Really
He didn't
did not like it.
He never had friends. Like nobody really wanted to be around him, and the people that was around him and hung around, it was more out of fear because they were scared of him. So in 1973, that's when he joined the Air Force, and that's when he was stationed in Utah, and he was assigned at Hill Air Force Base, and he was a helicopter mechanic. And then 19-year-old Williams, he was born in Virginia in 1953. They said his childhood was normal. Williams was liked. Williams was nice. Maybe too nice, they said. He was kind of a follower.
And he wasn't kind of. He was
Yeah,
a follower.
so he was a follower. And
he didn't have no backbone.
but everybody liked him. Like, so that's how he was also stationed at Hill Air Force Base. That's how they met. Now, Pierre didn't have no friends. He didn't have no friends there. Nobody really wanted to hang out with him, kick it with him, not like that. But Williams had a lot of friends. But when Williams and Pierre started hanging out, all of Williams' friends kind of like backed off away from it because they just knew Pierre was weird. They just knew Pierre was weird, and they just didn't like to be around him. And they always said that Pierre was a leader and Williams was the follower. So they came up with this plan to go rob this store for extra money, right?
Let me tell y'all where they got the plan from. The whole plan. So I told her earlier that I was like, I don't like this story. They dumb. Okay, anyways. They watched the movie Dirty Harry.
Magnum Force. The second one, yeah.
Or whatever. And in the damn movie, some people robbed a liquor store, a convenience store, or whatever. But Dirty Harry, like, killed all of them, got all of them, brought all of them to justice, whatever the case may be. But they're like, oh, nah, we're not going to get caught because, you know, there's no Dirty Harry to stop us. And they thought they was hot shit. In this movie, there is a scene where a prostitute didn't give her pimp all the money. And the pimp found out, so he made her drink Drano. In the movie, she just drank it and was like, died instantly. Yeah. So these idiots think that it's gonna happen that same way. So they're like, okay, we're gonna go, we're gonna rob, they're here to not leave no witnesses, we're gonna make them drink Drano, and we out. They didn't research it, they just literally went off of a movie.
Yes.
Like, how dumb can you be? Nothing is exact in the fucking.
But you gotta think, he's only 20 and William's only 19.
I don't care. When I was 20, I still know that movies are not 100%.
Yeah. So Drano, we all know what Drano is. So Drano literally can eat through hair, clog anything. So imagine.
But it's gonna take time.
Imagine drinking that, but it's not gonna kill you right away. All it's gonna do is cause damage. Like, imagine it going down your esophagus into your stomach.
Burning.
It literally peels the flesh off of their face. So imagine what it's doing in the inside of you. That is very painful. It was very loud. It just didn't go the way that they thought it was gonna go. So when they seen the two men, they recognized Pierre. They fit the description. That's when they got a warrant to search their barracks. They searched Pierre's barracks. They searched under the bed. This fool got the what's it called? The lease to a storage facility.
Because they didn't want.
So they go in. They see all the stereo equipment that was stolen. Everything that was taken from the store was in the damn.
The only smart thing they did do is they didn't want people seeing them bringing all the stuff back to the base, so they rented a storage unit.
But the thing is, you throw away the person the wallet on at the base.
Oh, why the
You
fuck
trust
would
at the
you rent the
base.
storage unit in your name? 1, keep the lease. 2,
Under the bed.
under the
tree.
bed. 3, then throw away their wallets and stuff on the base. Like, I don't have no plans on murdering nobody, and I don't got no plans on robbing nobody, but I'm damn sure not gonna do nothing none of that.
They just thought they were smarter than what they was. So once they found that, they took them. Of course, you know, took them. They talked to him. First, they weren't talking. Pierre wasn't talking. He wasn't saying nothing. Williams wasn't talking. He wasn't saying nothing. And then finally, Williams finally talked. He told them what happened and what their plans was. That they was been talking for a week. They had this planned out. Now, technically, it was 5 of them that went, and 2 of them went into the store. So the other 2, they never found them. They just up and left. And the one that was the driver, they found him. He also got arrested, but he wasn't even in the store. He was the one that was standing outside by the van with all the equipment that Oren walks by.
And in the other 2's defense, they never knew the Drano plan.
No, they just thought they were going to rob the store.
They was like, we're gonna get some quick money. I'll be the getaway driver. And they got roped in like towards the end. Now, Pierre and William, from jump, they wanted to do.
That's why the Drano was there. Like, why was the Drano even there in the van? Like, you knew what you wanted to do in the beginning. That was that plan. So when Williams went and Williams seen what was happening with the Drano, he got scared. Like, he just didn't want to. Not even. I don't think he even really cared what was happening to them. He just couldn't do it. He just didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
So it's like, because he never tried to stop it. Now, there was a time when Oren first got down there, Oren was telling them, like, look, you guys robbed the store. Leave us here. We won't say anything. Just rob the store and, get what you need. And Williams was looked at Pierre, was like, hey, it's a good idea. Let's just rob the store.
Pierre wanted to get his murder.
And like, he wanted to kill. So when eventually,
his murder on. So
they went to trial and they all got sent. Both Williams and Pierre got sentenced to death penalty. And the other guy, I forgot his name. I think he got 30 years for being a driver. So they got.
Honestly, for him, I think that's a little. Much.
Yeah, I think he got 30 years.
Because he really didn't know that they were going to do that to people. But you got to be careful with the company you keep. So.
You really do. And he never really turned them in either.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like.
But then it's like, I don't know. I still don't think maybe 30. Maybe he should got like 20 years.
Yeah. But he got some time. So finally.
The other 2 should have death.
The other 2, they got the death penalty. So there's a psychologist. He was the one that talked to Ted Bundy. So he got Ted Bundy to talking, and he wants to start these files, get into a killer's mind and figure out what causes a person to kill. So he talked to Pierre one time. Pierre just saying he was on drugs. Like, he was trying to say it was an outer body experience. He don't remember it happening, or like he was watching it from a drug infused, because he was on drugs, he said. To the top, he said he was on drugs. But he really he never really said he was sorry or he felt bad for it, or showed any kind of remorse for it. Williams did. Williams said he did feel bad and he did, show remorse or whatever about it. But what was done was done. So in 1987, Pierre was executed by lethal injection, and then Williams was executed in 1992 by lethal injection. Now, there's a big uproar over Williams getting the death penalty. They felt, and this is Utah. Yeah. This is back where there was barely any black people in Utah at the time. At that time, the Mormon church wouldn't even allow black people to be in the church. They felt like black people wasn't going to go to heaven.
They were not worthy.
So they kind of they felt like, since Williams technically didn't kill nobody. Now, he did distribute. He was down there, and they did distribute that Drano. But he was not down there. He left. He was not down there when Pierre shot them, raped Sherry. But me and Portia was talking about it. I just feel like maybe he should, because he knew it was happening. He just couldn't do it himself. But he did not try to stop it. He did not tell. He did not try to stop it. And if they never got caught, he would have just went on with his life.
maybe he shouldn't have got the death penalty, but he should have got life without parole.
That's what a lot of people are saying. They never once said that he should not be in jail, but they just felt like
I just thought about that too.
they just felt like he should have not had the same punishment as Pierre, because Pierre killed them, raped her, killed her. He did not technically kill anybody.
There's no proof that the Drano would have killed them.
Yeah, because it could have.
Even though he gave that to them, there's no
proof.
It might have not killed them. It might have just fucked their shit up for a while.
Yeah.
You know, so I do understand why they wouldn't want him to be executed, but he for sure should have got life.
Oh yeah, because they never once said that he should never die. No, they just think that he shouldn't have died. And you gotta remember, think about this: he was only 19, and Pierre was only 20 years old. They were young guys doing this. Like, I think Pierre always wanted to do it. I think he wanted to see what it felt like to kill. I think he killed before. I think he killed Sergeant.
Well, he did kill before. He killed that.
And I think he just had a taste for it. And when they did go see the movie, Pierre was obsessed with the movie. They went to the movie three or four times, back to back in the same day. As soon as the movie was over, went buy another ticket. As soon as the movie was over, went buy another ticket. So he was, instead of seeing Dirty Harry as the hero, he more went with the villains and the bad people.
Yeah, like, look at their power. They did this.
So it's sad that 3 people lost their lives. And then Courtney, even though he survived, he had imperishable brain damage. Like, he was just messed up. He couldn't talk the same. He talked really slow. He couldn't, like, he was just not the same no more. And Stanley, he was fine, because when he got shot in the back of the head, it just grazed him. Now it did mess up his ear, and he had burns down his, because he still ingested some of it, and so he did have burns down his esophagus, and he had burns on the side of his mouth. But just imagine with that trauma that you got to deal with, and I don't even know if they would even got help for that. But yeah, so what, you got anything else to say? This is a quick case.
Okay, I don't, it's not that I like murderers or something like that. I just don't like copycats. Like, I don't condone murdering, but it's like when you copy someone, it's like you're lame. You're lame for copying. You copy the movie. You copy the fucking movie.
In my opinion, I just see they got the inspiration from the movie, because there's a lot of killers that got inspiration, like serial killers got inspiration from other serial killers. So in my opinion, I don't see it as copycat. I just see they got the inspiration. Inspiration.
What other murderer got
from the movie?
From the murder?
A lot of serial killers.
Who?
I can't think about right now.
Because they did it.
Yes, they did. I'm telling you, I can come. They've read books of other serial killers.
No, I no. It's the difference is they didn't get the inspiration from them. They seen what they did wrong and tried to perfect it.
And that's what they did in this movie.
They did it.
Yeah, because they did say
those murderers don't. Oh, okay, like.
Because Dirty Harry killed everybody in that convenience store. Pierre felt like he could do better.
That's not what I'm saying. So that's like, let's say Ted Bundy. Okay, he reads a book on another serial killer. He still kills in Ted Bundy's way. He still acts like he needs help from a girl, but he just is copying BTK with, okay, don't leave any fingerprints, they still have their own killings.
Yeah.
He literally watched the movie and took the scene out the movie and tried to create it in real life.
Well, the only scene he took was the Drano.
That's the point.
But to me, it was
every other serial killer got their own MO.
Yeah, to me,
he copied a freaking pimp. You didn't even copy a serial killer, bro. You copied a pimp.
To me, it was
pimps don't kill.
That was his. He felt like we need something quick, not messy, to kill. Like, he didn't want the noise of the bullet. He didn't want messy, so he's seen in a movie that this Drano killed her like this. So he figured that that's what was going to happen. And
well,
then it
I'm
just
happy he
didn't happen.
didn't watch. What's the movie where they pimp slapped everybody with baby powder? He should have watched that. Was it Friday After Next? And they slapped him with the
but that was from a movie, though.
And that's a movie, too.
No, I'm saying that's from an older movie. That they got
still, just y'all copying dumb shit. Go kill don't go kill nobody, but I'm just saying, like, it's done. You copy the pimp. You didn't even copy the killer. The killer was Dirty Harry, who murked everybody in the store. But in the name of justice.
Yeah.
Y'all just dumb. Just dumb. Following a pimp.
So that's the case.
So disappointed.
So the high five murders. So
Again, I don't condone anybody being a killer. But the original. No, I know it's coming
Don't
out
listen to
harsh.
her.
It's coming out harsh, but it's like you're.
yeah, so that's the case of the high five murders. So like, subscribe, comment what you think about, this case, and we'll see you in our next video.